Hello and welcome to Man Declares War on Peacocks, a personal video blog hosted, written, and produced by me, Thrash. In this blog I'll be discussing many things that come to mind or simply catch my interest. But the blog will most likely focus on video game and music retrospectives and the occasional current review. Anyway, this is the first episode, and I planned out an entire rundown on PlayStation 1 games I've had as a child. It should be noted that I do not have access to my PlayStation or any of these games, so the majority of footage is going to be mercilessly plagiarized via the internet, and the reviews are going to be based purely on what I can remember of the games. With that in mind, let's start out with something simple, something easy to review, something explosive. Bomberman Party Edition is a game released in North America in 2000 and was one of my favorite games as a kid. The game consists of two modes, Standard and Battle Mode. Standard Mode is the original 80s game with improved graphics and bonus rounds, as well as the occasional humorous cutscene thrown in for good measure. Standard Mode consists of 50 levels of increasing difficulty with a variety of enemies ranging from the basic balloons that have no AI whatsoever to float sands which can go through blocks and bombs and will employ adaptive squad-based strategy to systematically hunt you down and kill you. To advance each stage, you have to eliminate all the enemies on the floor by using bombs and then finding the door. Bombs can be upgraded in various ways by finding the upgrades in each level. There's one upgrade per level, and it is highly recommended to find it before you exit the level. Upgrades do various mundane things, like increasing the blast radius of your bombs and increasing the number of bombs you can set at once, to various outlandish effects, like making you immune to your own bomb fire or giving you remote-controlled bombs. However, you could have gotten any Bomberman game to play the single player. No. You got Bomberman Party Edition to play the multiplayer. The multiplayer is split into 3 levels of complexity: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. More on this later. Multiplayer controls the same way as single player, but strategy takes a whole different turn with live bots and people on the field. And yes, you can either choose to play with up to 5 people via multitap, or any combination thereof of bots and people, including playing alone with 4 bots. Because you have no friends. Anyway, which difficulty you selected earlier decides what power-ups will spawn, who you can choose as a character, and if you have a death card. This isn't actually associated with the AI level of the bots though. Thankfully, all of these options can be customized if you choose Custom Battle, whereas Battle Royale just sets stuff for you. If you're like me, however, you're going to want to play in Advanced, as that's where you get the cool characters and special abilities. First character is your normal Bomberman, and has no special abilities. Then you have Honey and Kotsetsu, which both have the ability to shoot a laser attack that can stun enemies and make them drop an item. Now, I'm 100% sure I mispronounced Kotsetsu's name. Feel free to correct me. Hammer Bomber is able to spin his mace around in a circle, stunning and knocking off an upgrade of anyone hit by it, and he can even hit some people twice if they're in the right position. Lady Bomber is a functional reskin of Honey and Kotsetsu with the same ability. Jet Bomber is able to use his jetpacks to fly across the screen and incinerate anyone in his path. Great Bomber can temporarily turn invincible. The best, however, is Bazooka Bomber, who can send a ravaging path of fire in a straight line that destroys bombs, kills people, and eats power-ups in a very convincing rendition of Apocalypse Now. However, Bazooka, Great, and Jet Bomber all have a cooldown on their abilities in which they are slower than normal. So make sure not to miss. There are a lot of stages, about 30, each with its own gimmick and, like the characters, change based on which level you choose to play on. Personally, however, I think Intermediate has the best levels, and it's a pity that the developers didn't let you play on all the levels with all the characters. It should be noted that this game did have a re-release on the PSP, but I haven't played it, so I can't attest to its quality. What I can tell you is the Bomberman Party Edition is a good game. Thus, it gets a solid 8 out of 10. The only major faults with this game is it can get repetitive very, very quickly. The game would be really nice, but the single player is basically the exact same game with slightly advanced strategies as you go on and face tougher enemies, and the multiplayer is pretty much similar to the single player unless you're playing advanced, in which case it's a lot more fun. The bots have a fine level of AI. They're not overpowering unless you set them to, but it's really more fun to have multiple real players in multiplayer. Thus, in conclusion, if you already own this game, get it out, try it, you might like it. If you don't own this game, I wouldn't really suggest going out and specifically purchasing it. It probably won't be that expensive, but there's probably better releases of Bomberman currently out. However, if you're a Bomberman aficionado, then I'd buy it. However, in suffix to that statement, I have to add that while I do enjoy the game, I enjoy it in bits and pieces here and there because of its repetitive nature and because of the fact that I'm usually forced to play alone. This has been Man Declares War on Peacocks, Episode 1-1. You stay classy, Internet.